Looks good. Is my coat okay? Am I sitting up straight? I may very well be wearing. All right.
47 FM, WTYJ 1240. WMIS, also NatchezRadio.com. It's on that Tuesday, y'all. And if you're living in the city of Natchez, it's running there. If you want to find out what's going on in Natchez, what's going on. As Marvin Gaye said, one way we can find out what's going on a Tuesday night. And that's by talking to the mayor himself, Mr. Dan, the man Gibson. He's the mayor of the city of Natchez, and he always got something going on. Good evening, Dan. How you doing?
Hello, Calvin. I'm doing great. I'm blessed. How are you doing?
I am doing good, Dan. And before I get this show started, I just want everyone to know, and I know you're going to talk about it. On this past weekend, we had a nice event that took place in town. But ladies and gentlemen, if you missed the event that took place at the Moment, it was a treat for everyone in this community. Someone was on Facebook singing a song called Closer, and they looked almost like Mayor Dan Gibson, but I'm not sure if that's his old gig or his new gig or just a relaxation gig. You know, sometimes you got to get away. But ladies and gentlemen, if you wasn't at the Moment, I just wanted to tell you that fella was singing and he's blowing and he's playing the piano. He had going on. His name was Dan Gibson, performing at the Moment. Good evening, Dan. How's it going?
Calvin, I'm doing great. It's going well. I can't get away with anything. You know, I've got this car that has big old sticker on it, and everybody sees me coming and going around town. And yes, Saturday night I had the chance to play the piano and sing a little bit at Monmouth, and I was singing an old classic tune from the 70s, Close to You, and that was a fun evening. It was a really fun weekend, Calvin. We had people from all over the place here in Natchez enjoying a safe, wonderful, family-oriented weekend, and we had a lot of balloons up in the air. Calvin, are you there? Uh-oh. We lost the feed.
He's there.
Live on Natchez Renewal Radio. These things happen. Facebook, I hope you're listening and watching.
We're live.
And we are live, but we've lost Calvin. Let's see, we may need to call him back.
He's showing on there.
Okay.
I see him.
I'm
He's
going.
dialing back in. I see he just swooped off. He's going to come back in.
Okay. I could sing Close to You. Why do birds suddenly appear? All right. Facebook, we do this Natchez Renewal Live radio every Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. And we have just lost our host, Calvin Butler, with WTYJ. They may be having some technical difficulties. We may have to call him back. You want me to dial him?
He's coming on right now.
Okay. All right. Calvin, are you there? Well,
We'll try again.
let's see here. Here you go. We'll get the call made. In the meantime, Facebook, I'm going to talk to you. We've had a lot going on in Natchez. We did have a great weekend, a good balloon race weekend, and we're having some technical difficulties with WTYJ, but we'll be with them in just a minute. We have something very serious that we're going to talk about tonight, and
please enter your access.
we've got so many good things happening, but at the same time, we had some crime
The
going on
access
last
code you
night,
entered is invalid.
and
You
we're going
entered
to make
no
sure
digits.
that we
Please
are
read.
we are addressing these issues. So we've got some announcements to make in just a minute as soon as we get back on the radio with Calvin Butler.
I think he's probably calling you on the phone there.
And I think we just went dark.
Okay. Everything looks good.
Well,
You can keep talking to him.
I can keep talking. This is live radio. When we do things live, things like this happens.
Please enter your access.
Here we go. We're trying this again. We don't know what happened. And
To enable audio controls, this conference will now be recorded.
Let's see if that gets us going.
let's see. Calvin, are you there? They are having... Calvin, are you there?
Yeah, you there? I'm there. Okay, man. I lost you some kind of way.
Calvin, I don't know. We lost you too, but we are back. We are back.
Okay, let me get you back on.
Okay.
Okay, all right. I think the mirror back there practicing or doing something going on. You're back.
I am back. I don't know what happened, but we are here, Calvin, and glad to be talking to you tonight.
Well, I'm glad you're back, and we was having some great conversations going on, and all of a sudden we just kind of got a glitch, and I don't know what happened there, and tried several times to get you back on, and now I'm gonna tell you something. Your community liaison called me ASAP, and he said, "Man, we lost him." I said, "I know. I'm working trying to get it back on," but finally, technology has a strange way of how it responds and how it acts. But fortunately, we have you back on. I know you got a lot of great things you want to talk about. We talk about you singing at the balloon race this past weekend, and of course, you were telling us about the impact that it had on the community with the crowd and the folks that we had coming out community for that event. So we're going to pick up where we left off.
Calvin, it was a great event, and Natchez has so much to celebrate right now. Our economy is safely open. People are coming here from all over the place. Our hotel rooms and other guest houses and B&Bs were all full this weekend. I understand that people were getting double the rate because the demand was so high. Our businesses all did well, our restaurants, tour businesses. And this is so important for the economy because it really promotes our jobs here in Natchez and having good opportunity for our people. And so it was a good money-making weekend for Natchez, and a beautiful weekend. I've been telling everyone that under these conditions right now, during the pandemic times, we have a golden opportunity because Natchez truly is in the right place at the right time. We are going to see more and more people discovering our city because we're just the safest and best destination. No one can match our hospitality, and no one can match our beautiful view on the river. So we're really excited. Things are looking up in Natchez.
And the great thing about it, Dan, we was able to have that event, and after the event took place just on yesterday, the governor declared some areas as hotspots, and fortunately, and I pray and hope that it continue to be this way, but Natchez was not considered a hotspot, so that event that we had allowed us to have freedom to do a lot of great things in our community. I knew that we had a new restaurant to reopen, the Peak Out Inn. They was able to reopen, and they had a large, nice turnout and crowd, so a lot of people probably appreciated that. But most of the restaurants and hotels this past weekend, as what I could see, looked like they was packed. It looked like everyone was having a great time and a great enjoyment. So that's really what the great thing about our community. Since we've been shut down since February and partially opened back up, I know those downtown businesses really appreciated seeing people come to town that they could have in their restaurants and their businesses to bring their revenue back into our community.
That's right. Calvin, it's exciting to see that we have now opened over 20 new businesses just over the last couple months here in Natchez. And a lot of new jobs are being created and more are on the way. So like I said, things are looking up for Natchez. And yes, we're excited that the Pig Out Inn has reopened. And I understand they had a great weekend and they have brought back the same original staff. And when you go in there, everything down to the baked beans still tastes good. Though, we've got some great restaurants around town. Today, I got out for a little lunch break and ate at a great little hole-in-the-wall place on North MLK. I bet a lot of people just pass it by every day. and don't realize how good the food is there. It's called Ladies Cafe, and it's just down from Next Level. It's across from the Zippy Mart there. And my gosh, talk about some good hamburgers today. And then I stepped in next door to that little restaurant, and there's a new thrift shop. A lady named Catherine Fleming, who used to live in Natchez and is now returned to Natchez. She's fixing up that building, and she's got a nice thrift shop going. Calvin, there's a lot of there's just a lot of good things happening in Natchez right now. I'm excited.
Well, Dave, there are a lot of great things happening in Natchez. And of course, I was looking in the newspaper, I guess, this past weekend, and I saw where you have this incentive. Even if you don't live in Natchez or want to move to Natchez, you're giving this incentive for those folks who want to work at home and move to our community and have their business inside their home. The city, along with the Natchez Inc., is giving a incentive for those folks who want to move to our area. That's correct?
Yes, we are the first city in Mississippi to roll this out. Just a few forward-thinking cities in the southern U.S. are doing this. Charleston, South Carolina, one of the very first I know to do this, recognizing that in this pandemic time, many companies have now made it possible for their employees to work remotely. And so thousands upon thousands of people in this country can now live anywhere and work from home. So we are trying to seize this opportunity to get new investment right here in Natchez. But the trick is this is the catch. They've got to be bona fide remote workers. They've got to have the documentation that shows that. The benefit is not paid all at once. It's spread out over a 2-year period to make sure they get established, that they're spending money here, because it is designed to pay back the city and the county. It'll pay for itself within the first couple years with increased taxes, both sales taxes and property taxes. But the other thing that we're excited about is they have to invest in real estate. They have to buy at least $150,000 or more in real estate, and so that means they've got to make a substantial investment in our community. And so I think it's going to be good for our economy, and over time we'll not only get them, we'll get their friends, their family members, and we'll just see a whole new influx of investment and interest in Natchez. But you know, Calvin, we're already seeing that. The real estate market is hopping here. Businesses are opening, buildings are being bought, and houses. My goodness, I heard an estimate that well over 30, 40 houses sold just in the last couple months. We're trying to get accurate numbers on this, but the realtors are too busy to really give us their numbers, so we're working on that.
Well, that's a good thing because, houses have been on the market for a long time, and everyone thought the economy had slowed down, and Natchez was kind of sinking, and it looked like it's about to uprise again. And, of course, like I say, you're a very busy man, and I'm out here in the media, and I'm in a kind of like, being a communication major, I'm kind of like an investigative reporter, so I'm always seeing what's going on. But as we talk about new businesses, I think I saw you at a ribbon cutting at the Bella Rouge, which is the old Dr. J.R. Todd office off Martin Luther King. And if I'm not mistaken, I think you was there because they give it up a health clinic very soon, right?
That's exactly right, Calvin. During the campaign, we talked about the Todd Clinic quite often because we made the case that we needed affordable, available health care in North Natchez. And so we were so excited to work with Dr. Blanche Bell, our community liaison, Brian Marvel. He did an excellent job communicating with her and assisting her in the process of getting this new medical clinic open. We were there Thursday, a lot of people were there, and it was an exciting time to announce the opening of this new clinic. But while we're on the subject, we just got a message here on Facebook from Tom Granning. And I'm going to read to you what it says, Calvin. And this is, I need to now turn this conversation into a very, very serious direction. Can we do that?
Yes, sir. We can do that.
Okay, Calvin, all of the good things happening. Let me just tell you something. Just today, I was up there on North MLK, as I said, having lunch, visiting a new business there, visiting with people in the area, talking to them, riding around, just taking a look. And what's happening is people along North MLK and in North Natchez are striving to thrive. And we want them to thrive. We want this health clinic to succeed. We want these restaurants to remain open. And we want people to enjoy seeing that community come back to life and the beauty back to life in that community. I want to get Tom Granning's comment up because I'm going to read it, because we had something happen last night that is extremely serious, and we're not going to tolerate it because it is counterproductive to all of the great things that we are doing in North Natchez. There was a shooting early in the evening right there at the convenience store just down from Next Level and where I eat today, Ladies Cafe, right down from there adjacent to Cathedral, across the street from a little stand where I understand you can get about the best catfish in town. We're talking about a shooting at the convenience store right there adjacent to Cathedral, and we're not going to tolerate this kind of thing. What people don't know is we've had meetings over the last several, well, we've only been mayor, we're in our third month. We've had meetings over these 2.5 months with individuals in that area, and we've even brought one of the business owners in here to City Hall to discuss the safety concerns that we have that exist with certain businesses in that area. I'm specifically talking about the convenience store, the Zippy Mart, the garage beside the the convenience store, and also the car wash that's now closed. And so what we did today is we called an emergency meeting. An emergency meeting of our police committee consisting of some of our aldermen and our police chief. And this all had to do with addressing the shootings that took place. I'm going to read to you so your listeners on TYJ can listen to the comments from Tom Granning talking about what's going on North MLK. That's all great, believe me, but what about the shootings that keep occurring around Cathedral? What is being done? Not much word about it today anywhere. This has become a dangerous situation. Well, Tom, I want you and all of the listeners on Facebook and TYJ to understand that we had an emergency called meeting today at 3 o'clock, and we invited the media to be present, and the Natchez Democrat was there, and we made this announcement. We are ordering the business owners of these businesses that are proving to be a problem, and we have the call records. We've been tracking them on our E911 system, and we are getting multiple calls and complaints primarily on the Zippy Mart, another location on Old Washington owned by the Zippy Mart owner, and also the convenience store, that garage and that car wash. So we're ordering the owners of those businesses to attend our board meeting on Tuesday night. At our board meeting Tuesday night at the convention center, it's a public meeting, and we invite anyone in the community, anyone of the business owners along North MLK, residents, people from Cathedral, churches. There are numerous parties in that area that I know are concerned about this. So we're inviting you to come to our board meeting on Tuesday night. At that board meeting, we are going to have a discussion with these particular business owners, and we are going to provide them an opportunity to develop a security plan. That security plan must include improved lighting, must include improved cameras at their expense, and also on-site security at their expense. If they are not willing to comply with these requirements, then we will not hesitate to declare these businesses a public nuisance and to use the powers given to us through our ordinances to shut them down. Calvin, this is important. I want TYJ listeners to hear it. I want our Facebook audience to hear it. We will not tolerate having any business open in the city limits of Natchez that does not put the safety of its customers and its community first. We already have been working to have better enforcement of our open container ordinances. We have been sending police officers routinely, almost every other night, to some of these establishments, and the record is there. And that is an unfair use of taxpayer dollars. Our police department is not there to provide private security for private businesses who will do anything to make a buck, even if it risks the lives and well-being of those frequenting their establishment or of those in the neighborhood. And so we're serious on this, and we're not going to rest until the situation is remedied. And so, Tom, you're welcome. I see Tom Granting responding on Facebook. We had a meeting with our community liaison, Brian Marvel, literally 10 minutes before the broadcast. We are getting the word out to the community. We want everyone who is interested in this to attend the board meeting Tuesday night, to lend your support to our efforts to make sure that these business owners step up and do the right thing. Chris Barefoot has said something here.
Got an appointment with you.
And Chris, Chris, I understand that you tried to call us, and I'm sorry we were late responding to you. This is a real good time, and Chris, will come back to you in just a minute, because this is a good time to talk about addiction and some other issues we're facing in the community. But before we go to that point, Calvin, what is your response to what I've just told you?
I'm going to start with Zippy's. Paul owns Zippy's. He bought it for Zacaros.
Yes.
He owns Zippy's in Martin Luther King area. He owns Zippy's on Old Washington Road. He also owns the Sitco Station Highway 61 South. I don't know if you noticed, but Paul just put a lot of money into Zippy's. He got a new roof put on. He lit it up. He's got security there. He's a great guy. He and his wife, they work very hard in our community. And when you put pressure on Paul, he went and tried to upgrade his business to be in compliance with the city, because he's a businessman who moved here from overseas. I'm not sure exactly.
Calvin,
what.
Let me speak to that. Do you know why Paul did that? Because we had him up here, and we met with him in our conference room here at City Hall just a month and a half ago. And we told him if he didn't step it up, we were going to come down on him hard. And I appreciate Paul for doing that, but he's got to take it to the next level. He needs a security guard there.
And I agree, and I spoke with him on that. And not only was he looking at that, he was looking at putting them cameras there, and he looked cameras up at the Old Washington site. I'm not defending, don't get me wrong, I'm not defending, but he and I had these conversations, being an ex-elected official. And when we talk about the Zippy's area, when I was a supervisor on the corner of Steam Plant and Pine Ridge Road, the same owner who owns the one up by Cathedral was a nuisance. People built a bonfire. They had all kinds of stuff going on. And we talked to that owner. I think his name was Tony. We talked to Tony, met with his lawyer, met with people from the community, met with the sheriff and everyone. And the riffraff is gone. I live in that area. The riffraff is gone. He made it a legitimate business, no lottery going on. So I think the business owners want to be in compliance with what the city do. We need the community to get involved as well. to shut down these people because these folks are here to, they're trying to make a living and they're trying to be in compliance. I don't think they're rebelling against anything that we want done as the community. But, and when you bring them to your office, I guarantee when they come out of that office, they're going to make the adjustments they need, but they need cameras like that. They need to take that step further. And we need to get the community involved. Personally, my opinion is the shooting last night could have been a retaliation for the one that took place at the corner of Monroe and Rankin Street last month.
Yes, Calvin, we've got to get proactive. We're not going to sit around here at City Hall and wait for the phone to call to tell us bad things have happened. We're going to get proactive. I will tell you, I shared this story today in our meeting. Many years ago when I was mayor of Crystal Springs, we had a problem business in town. And we got a call one night and a murder had taken place. And we had to get involved. Eventually, we put so much pressure on that business, we did shut it down. But I told them, and so I have, precedent. I've done this before, and I will not hesitate to shut down a business that is a danger to our community. But this is what I told them today. We're going to be proactive. I don't want to get that phone call late at night as mayor of Natchez that someone has died in our city. And it's something that could have been prevented. And I want to say this too. And we appreciate what Paul has done. I admired it today. Zippy looks 100% better than it did just a month ago. But we're offering this as really assistance to these business owners. Because the first fatality that occurs at Zippy's or that occurs in front of that convenience store, well, then comes the lawsuit. Then comes the loss of business, and then eventually they have to shut down. Well, why not have a security guard there? Far better to pay a security guard now than to have to pay the cost of lawsuits and a closed business later. So we're actually offering assistance to make sure that these business owners do what they need to do to protect their business, to protect their employees, and to protect their customers.
I'm all for it, and I tell you what, if we need the police chief to come on the radio station, if we need community people that's involved in those areas to come on the station and plead for help, we have an open door policy here at WTYJ and WMIS, and if there's something that they need to get out to the community, they need to come in here, talk to me, we get on the radio, we can talk about it, and cameras at your home, where the police department can help them out. One thing I see when I go down through the holiday apartment areas, I kept wondering why that light was blinking blue. And someone told me that was a camera that the police department put with this NOLA system they put in to try to cut down on some of the crime out in that area. So, it's going to take community involvement, as we talked prior to coming out here. Community involvement, community policing. I told you back in the day, they walked the beat, they had motorcycle policemen, but whatever it takes to get this thing done, that is exactly what we're going to have to do as a community.
That's exactly right. And Calvin, we also, in our meeting today, we had Alderwoman Felicia Irvin on the line. She was participating as a member of the police committee, and a lot of this area is in her ward. And so she is arranging for us to have a neighborhood watch meeting very soon at Beulah Baptist Church, putting out some flyers in the area with important phone numbers and things that people should know on how to be a better lookout for crime and to help prevent crime. We encourage everyone who experiences problems in that area to dial 911. Sometimes they're hesitant to dial 911. They don't want to complain about noise or something else by calling 911. But we tell them if we don't have the record of their call, then we have no way of knowing just how severe the problem is. We need documentation of all of this, and that's why people should call 911. And Tom Granting also said, stopping the people from loitering. We have been sending our police to enforce our open container ordinance. It is very important that people know it is against the law in Natchez to hang out and drink beer in a convenience store parking lot. And if you're doing it, you're liable to get arrested. People need to stop that. And then, yes, we've got to pick up, Nathan, you're right, we've got to pick up our neighborhood patrols, and we discussed that as well today. That's one reason that we need these business owners to hire guards, security guards, because our police have too much to do than to be private security guards for these businesses. When our police cars are so busy monitoring things at the Zippy and the convenience store, then there are other areas of town and neighborhoods that we're neglecting. And that's not fair. So we've got to have these business owners step up. Now, I want to go back. Calvin, we have someone in the community who reached out to me. His name is Chris Barefoot. I don't know Chris, but we have a mutual friend who has told me he's really involved in the ministry, and also he's involved with the bikers. And we're going to be meeting, I think he's on the schedule to meet with me tomorrow, and we're going to be talking about the lack of resources to help those with addiction problems, specifically dope. We know we have some drug issues in Natchez, and we have got to get to the bottom of it. Chris, I look forward to our meeting, and I do want to say, Calvin, we discussed this today in our police committee meeting. We have some ideas, and we are looking forward to getting some ideas implemented and in place to crack down on the use of illegal drugs. But this step right here is going to go a long way, because we understand and we have the reports and we have the documentation that drug deals are being done in the parking lot at the Zippy, in the parking lot at the convenience store, in the parking lot of the other Zippy location on Old Washington Road. When we have security guards in those places and we have better cameras and better lighting, then those drug dealing locations are going to go away. We've got to do whatever it takes to put pressure on those areas of town where people think they can get away with this so that they know that they can't. Also, Chris, I want to say this. Calvin, your listeners may be listening. We encourage people to call us here at City Hall, and we are here to help in any way we can. But I do want to let people know the volume of phone calls that we've been receiving have been absolutely impossible for me to handle. In fact, in one meeting Thursday with my staff, I had to divvy out 30 phone calls, Calvin, just to get assistance in helping them get called back. And I know people get frustrated because sometimes I don't call them back immediately. I'm going to say the best way to get to me is not only to call City Hall and leave your number. We'll do our best to have a staff person or someone connect with you. I'll do my best to call those that I can call. But we have 6 aldermen in this city. And this city's a large city, and we need you to be calling your aldermen. Just today, I actually got various reports through some of our alderpersons, and that allowed me to reach out to some of their constituents. And so we need to make sure that people know we are very busy here, and we don't mean to be hard to get, but Calvin, I can't begin to tell you all the things that we have going and how hard we're working for the citizens of Natchez. I am excited because we have a lot of good things happening.
And Dan, I know you got a lot of good things happening, but I'm going to back up a little bit. You know, when you say people have to take control of security, a lot of people walk on the bluff and they go through the bluff and they walk in the evening time. And I see where someone approach the city and they want to secure that area from 5 to 9 p.m. until you can staff your police department to be able to accommodate that area. And I think that was a great thing that you did when you talk about security for the community.
Yes, Calvin, you know it's important that people feel safe here, and we're having a lot of activity, people loving the bluff and the sunsets. In this time of, pandemic, people are seeking the outdoors and open spaces, and we want them to feel safe. And so we are in discussions. We have tentatively approved this contract. We are checking out credentials now, making sure that background checks are done so that we are able to then enter a contract with a security firm that will provide security services on the bluff from 5 to 9. So you see, we're not asking these private businesses to do anything that we as the city aren't ourselves willing to do. we've got to all think outside the box and do what it takes to keep our people safe.
Now, I'm going to throw a little humor in there because time actually ran out on us, but, we lost each other. I'm going to throw a little humor in there, When you elect a politician, they supposed to call you and tell you the dog tore the trash up. They supposed to call and tell you the neighbor state you kept you woke all night. And when they call you, then you supposed to answer your telephone. I don't care if you taking communion at your church service. You supposed to say, hello, that's Dan Gibson. Can I help you?
Uh-oh, Calvin. We lost you. Calvin, I'm going to finish that thought for our listeners on Facebook. Yesterday, Monday morning, I woke up to over 100 text messages. I woke up to, I don't even know how many Facebook messages. And do you know that I had every one of them returned before I came into the office? I do that almost every morning and then in the evenings as well. But I just need people to understand that there's only one me and over 15,000 of you, but we are doing our level best. And I'm so grateful to have the assistance I have here at City Hall. But I do want to repeat, call us, but also remember to call your alderman. And we're going to be getting their numbers out there because they want to hear from their constituents. They're there to serve you just as I am. We lost Calvin, and I think we were out of time anyway. But our Facebook audience, we will do this again Thursday evening. Our Facebook Renewal Live program, Natchez Renewal Live, it's every Thursday at 6 p.m., and that's when we answer your questions. Hello, Sandra. I'm getting a few comments on Facebook right now. And also, Chris Barefoot, you did say, we need more services for addiction issues and mental health issues. Had a meeting on that this morning. And so, I look forward to our meeting tomorrow. Mary Leslie, we love you. Glad you're watching. Nathan, homeless people standing on the street begging for money doesn't look good. I know. And I tell you, we are having to delicately handle that matter. To me, when we have panhandlers in our community, is an indication that truly we've got to do more. We do need more mental health. We actually met with a mental health company today. I'll have that meeting with you, Chris, tomorrow. And we also need more opportunity. That's why we're so excited that over 20 over 20 new business permits since we took office, and the job count, including loss prevention services, a little over 300. That's not a bad start. We have more to come. Well, I think we've got Calvin here. Calvin, we lost you there. Calvin, I tell you, and I'm still on Facebook here, and we can hear you. Can you hear me?
I called you back on the cell phone. I couldn't hear you on the last little comment.
I tell you what, you said a mouthful in that last little comment, and everyone's call is important, but I had to remind Facebook audience, it's over 15,000 of you and only one of me, but we are doing our best.
Okay, so I was sure because I was trying to get that out there because I wanted you to say it so the audience don't listen. As long as you listen on Facebook, that's fine, but I don't know, I just kind of lost you.
Well, Calvin, we'll solve those technical problems by our next time, and we will have our next radio program in 2 weeks. We'll be at our board meeting this next Tuesday.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, we really appreciate you and WTYJ.
But then, I enjoy doing this because, like I say, being in tune with what's going on in the community really is a great thing for me as well.
Thank you. And Calvin, you do a great job keeping us informed.
Thank you, Dan. You do too, man. You have a good one now.
You too. Be blessed. Thank you.
Man.
All right. Bye-bye. And Brian Marvel, you're doing an incredible job. We've got a great community liaison. Had a great giveaway event just last week. Sterling, we appreciate you and appreciate your feedback. And golly, I'm grateful to be doing things for Natchez. but I'm not doing it alone. I need everyone's help, and thank you, Chris. And well, we will be back on Facebook Live Thursday evening, 6 p.m., and we will have more good news to share. Y'all share this with your friends, and just have a great night, and God bless you, and God bless Natchez.